What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline, for those of you that do not know, and this is o.emme.he. For the first time probably this whole year, I'm putting up my wrap up on time. So I'm very excited about that. And that's about it. So let's get into it. Okay, so this month was a very good reading month. Most of my books were 4 and 5 stars, and I ended up reading a total of 9 books, which obviously means some of the books that were on my TBR I did not get to, so I'm going to start with those. But first things first, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell right next to the little subscribe bar so that you get notified whenever I upload. Okay, so these are the books that I did not get a chance to get to, but I will make more of a priority to get to in July. The first is If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. This is the one that my best friend got me, and it is going to be one of the first books I read in July, I promise. Next is The Bar Harbor Retirement Home for Famous Writers and Their Muses by Terry Lynn DeFino. I was so excited about I need to slow down. I was so excited about this book, but I was also very excited about all the other books, or a lot of the other books on my TBR. So unfortunately, I didn't have time to get to all of them. But again, I am going to be reading this in July. And next, I think this is like the third. This is going into the third month, which makes me so sad. But 1,000 Beginnings and Endings by edited by Ellen O. and Elsie Chapman. I did start reading the first story because this is an anthology. But I am going to make this a priority as well in July. Alright, so I will definitely be talking about the books that I read in the order that I read them. So let's get started. The first book that I finished in June, I actually started it in May, and it is Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert. This is the second book or companion book in the Wicked Villains series. This book is about Hades and Meg and Hercules, and it explores a lot of different things. It's kind of I don't know what to say without giving away too much. Basically, the whole point of these is that the princess is in love with the villain, and I gave the first book 4 stars, so obviously this is gonna be a 3-star. Okay, the next book that I finished in June was The End of Oz by Daniel Page, and this is like a bittersweet moment because I didn't even tell you what I gave it. I gave it a 5-star. So I'm sad that I finished it, though. I wish it kept going a little bit. But this is the 4th book in the Dorothy Must Die series, so I can't really tell you too much because it's literally the last book. But basically, Dorothy Must Die as a series is a series where Dorothy is actually evil, and it talks about her time in Oz after she went back to Kansas and then came back to Oz, and how she became evil and began to rule Oz. And the only way for Oz to get back to normal is for Dorothy to die. That is the whole premise of the series, and it's a really good series. Okay, next I read the best book that I read this month, and that is not an exaggeration. This is definitely a new favorite, and that is Guest List by Lucy Foley. It's so good. It's basically about this girl. She's getting married. I don't remember any of the names, so don't ask me. But this girl number one is getting married to guy number one, right? And he's like perfect. He's a perfect little specimen of a groomsman or whatever. I don't know. He's just perfect. Girl one's little sister is having like, I don't want to call it an episode, but she has a secret which she wants to reveal, but she's scared to reveal. So yeah. And then guy number two is best friends with guy number one. They went to prep school together, and like him and their little crew is at the wedding, and the wedding is taking place on an island type of thing, at like this resort, right? And then this guy number three is best friends with girl number one, aka the bride, and guy number three is married to girl number three, right? That makes sense. So they're having like issues because girl number three thinks that her husband, guy number three, and the bride, aka girl number one, have something going on. So that's like a whole little tiff in their marriage. And is there anything else relevant? Basically, somebody ends up dead at the end of this wedding, and someone on the guest list committed it because they're the only people on the island, pretty much. So let me tell you, I did not expect the ending. It's not only told you obviously who killed the person, but like literally in the last like 2 to 3 chapters, each chapter is like following a person, and the last 2 to 3 chapters are like a page each, and we find out who died. In the last few chapters, we find out who killed the person that died, and we find out that there's multiple suspects because the person that died is so freaking problematic, basically. I described that in the craziest way, but I'm trying to like tell you about the story without telling you about the story, you know what I mean? But it's amazing, and you should go check it out. Everybody should go get this book. Next thing I read was the Arrangement by Robin Harding. I definitely kind of veered off my TBR a little bit because it's like bothering me, because I don't know, I was just in the mood for another thriller. So I got The Arrangement. It was not what I was expecting. I did like it though. I gave it 4 stars, and basically this is just about this girl who's in school for art, I think, and she's in school in New York City. She's originally from the West Coast, and she can't afford her apartment. Her job kind of sucks. She gets paid really badly, and so one of her friends kind of but like makes a case for being a sugar baby. And so she makes a profile, and she meets a guy. She really hits it off, and then later on, when he wants to break it off, she's not happy with it, and somebody ends up dead. Now we're getting the book from 2 perspectives. From the main character's perspective, her name's Natalie. Natalie's perspective, which is a student, and then Gabe's perspective, which is a sugar daddy. So yeah, I really liked it. It was bomb.com. You guys should read it. Okay, next book I read was Girl Logic by Eliza Schlesinger. And I did like it. It was funny, kinda. I listened to the audiobook and I ended up giving this a 3-star because I'm not really a non-fiction type of bitch, you know. Like, I prefer fiction, basically. Next book I read was A Map for Wrecked Girls by Jessica Taylor. I gave this 4 stars and it was so good. I can't believe I put this off for so long. And now that I've read it, the description the description I was given completely matches what it is. So I'm not going to talk about this too much because I've literally talked about it in multiple videos. But yeah, it was really, really good. I gave it a 4-star. It was intense, I'm not going to lie. A lot of the parts were intense. And the amount of days that they were like shipwrecked or whatever was crazy. Next book I read was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I did listen to this on audiobook. I always listen to Jane Austen on audiobook. I love the audiobooks. I feel like it kind of amplifies the story a little bit. I gave it a 4-star because they all ended up with a happy ending, but I wasn't surprised because all Jane Austen's characters always end up having happy endings. However, you already know my like first and forever favorite of Jane Austen's is Emma, this one right here. Next I have The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pecknin. This one also got 4 stars and I loved it. So basically this is about a girl named Vanessa who is kind of depressed and kind of going through it because she just got divorced to her ex-husband. So you're hearing her side, but then you're also hearing the side of the new girl who is called Nini, I think, or something like that. Nellie. Her name is Nellie, and so you're following the two of them. But then in the middle, there's a twist, and we find out something that we didn't know. And we're slowly finding out stuff about the ex-husband of Vanessa, new husband to Nellie. And then there's that twist, and then there's like 3 different twists at the end as well. It's just like insanity, but I loved it. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it's short. It's not short right now. I hope that everybody's having a great week. We are going to be getting back to work this week. When you guys are seeing this, I am currently at my job. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm already back home, but so I hope everybody's staying safe. I hope everybody's wearing their masks. I hope everybody's washing their hands. I hope everybody is being aware of yourself and others and spreading kindness. And that's about it. Make sure to share this and any other video on my platform that you feel your people will love. Remember to subscribe and remember to spread peace and positivity and kindness all day, every day, and it'll come back to you. And remember to keep reading. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.